Have you ever pictured yourself standing on a stage, holding the coolest guitar ever made, and just start shredding for 10 minutes non-stop, and all the audience are either being moved to tears because it's so emotional and your solo is so good they just can't stop crying, or some other fellow musicians they just like run out of the venue full of jealousy and rage because your skills are just too good. They know in their hearts that they could never match you, so they just run away because you're so good. Well, we all had that fantasy. But in this episode of Songcraft, I'm going to convince you that you should forget about guitar solos. The first reason for that is 95% of music are rhythm guitar instead of guitar solos. Unless, of course, you're living in the 80s where everything just bloated and guitar solos are the norm of the day. But if we're talking about present day or even the early classic rock era like the 60s and 70s, the best music and songs, they're pretty tasteful and subdued when it comes to guitar solo. And lots of songs that I heard from guitarists, they just have too many guitar solos or the guitar solos is too long. So it's not really serving the song. No one wants to listen to your solos. And the reason behind that is if you look in YouTube or Instagram, most of guitar solos, or like a huge percentage of them, by normal guitarists, they're just repeating the same licks over and over again. And that can be blues pentatonic licks, and the young guitarists, they might be repeating some rock, math rock, is that what you call them? Math rock licks, and just, it's just so recycled, and there's so little intention and originality in a lot of the things that we hear today. Of course, from time to time we come across true masters who just play with such genuine emotions and heart, and we should aspire to that. But if you're like the rest of us, and a lot of the time when you're soloing, you're just rehashing scales and licks and just shredding and soloing is just finger exercise for you, remember that no one wants to listen to that kind of solo. Don't solo unless you know you have something to say and that you can say it in an original way. The third reason why you should forget about guitar soloing is, frankly, you should learn singing first. Guitar soloing, in lots of cases, are just emulating the effects of human voice and human singing. All the bends and jumps, they're just emulating the semitone of human voice and how they bend and stretch when singing. So if you're a guitarist and you don't know how to sing, please go to take some singing lessons first before you try to write or perform another solo. Because with that knowledge of singing, you can play much better guitar solos because you have a knowledge of singing musicality in your heart, and that applying that to your guitar soloing will make it so much better. Another reason why you should forget about guitar soloing is because the greatest guitar player of all time, Jimi Hendrix, he's famous for integrating rhythm and soloing in the same guitar parts. He'll play rhythm for a few bars and then just integrate some solo for one or two bars and then go on playing rhythm. He doesn't really think separately about rhythm and solo guitar, and nor should you. So forget about practicing your solo techniques over a loop or over a backing track. Instead, think of guitar playing as one without distinction of rhythm and soloing, like Jimi Hendrix did. So these are a few reasons why I think you shouldn't put as much effort and focus as you're putting into guitar soloing at this stage, and why you should focus on playing rhythm guitar and singing first. I'm not saying that guitar solos are bad or we should, ban them or something, or some radical like punk rock thing, but I'm saying that lots of guitar players are putting too much energy into guitar solos, and they would be better off putting it into something else. So, something to think about. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please let me know in the comments below. And I'm Alvin, the lead singer and guitarist of the band The Audience. If you enjoyed this, you should check this one out because you really need it. I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want.